everybody's got a way to say ऐसे नहीं पालना चाहिए बच्चे.
So that I think those opinions would have been there.
Is Ekta a strict one or she is more lenient than you?
She's like a Santa Claus.
Oh my goodness. Actually, when the child is throwing a tantrum, buckle in or stand firm?
Stand firm.
Brilliant. When you were a child, who did you go to for advice? Mom, daddy, Ekta?
I used to go to mom quite often.
I think moms have so much to learn from you. Forget the dads.
You're like do char mom, do char dad mix karo
together. So before I start anything, one thing I want to ask. Tushar Kapoor the actor. Tushar Kapoor the son. Tushar Kapoor the brother. Tushar Kapoor the father. Right now, at this point in your life, which is the role you have enjoyed the most?
I guess that Tushar Kapoor the father, for sure. Because first thing what's coming to my mind also right now, I'll go by my instincts. What's coming to my mind right now is what I asked you just before we started the interview. Is that how long will it take? Will it be a long one? Will it be a short one? And that's because I love chatting with you, of course. I chatted a lot before the interview started also. But my son comes from school in half an hour. So,
oh, dude, I totally understand that, man.
And for the last 2 months, I haven't been home. I've been working, shooting, and I've seen him barely 4 or 5 times the last 2 months. And he's fine. He's very independent. But now that I have a few days off before I start shooting again, of course, we also had a cat and mouse chase because of my schedules. So now that I have a few days off, I like to be there for him when he's back from school. Just give him that time before I go back into
the whole zone of being away from child. But how do you handle that? Don't you feel, it's a very, because I feel very guilty. I'll be very honest with you. मैं 4-5 दिन के लिए जाता हूँ. No doubt, more than anything else. I love my children. What do you feel when you go away from so long?
If he was missing me, I would feel very bad, but I don't think he's missing me anymore. He's 7.5 and he's become quite independent. Like earlier on, last 3-4 years back when I did a film in between, he was getting very agitated because they were no pickup, no drops into school, and I'd see him only early morning if I went to shoot or sometimes on a day off. For 2 months he was going and he was unsettled. And strangely enough, I think since he was born, I've done lesser work. I've done Golmaal, I've produced 2 films, but it hasn't been very, very regular. So that kind of helped me, spend that time with him for his first few years of his life, for the first few years of his life, till he's now 7 almost. So I was working and then the pandemic also happened. So everything that took me away from my career happened around the time he was growing up, which worked out well for me. And now that I'm back to work, he's grown up, so I think that timing is also right. So I don't feel guilty anymore, but I used to feel guilty in those first 6 years of his life. That, oh my God.
But your Lakshya and Bella Vienna are of the same age, more or less. But I know they're still very, no doubt they have their friends, they part, but in the night, they want me to come and put them to bed. How is it with you?
I have to ask, do you want me to come to school for your character parade? Do you want me to come? You want me to come for sports day? And I've taken time off from my shoot. I've said that I'll do 2 o'clock shift because I have sports day in the morning. Please keep a 2 o'clock shift. So all that I do, but I'm like, you want me to come, no? So he's like, if you don't come, somebody else can come. So he's cool at it, but I make it a point that certain events I'm there. Who knows, maybe he'll miss it while I'm not there. He'll realize that, oh, why isn't my dad there? Everyone's parents are here. So I don't want to take that chance, so I'd like to fill in that blank, no matter how difficult it is for me. But other than that, I think he's like, come on, ठीक है.
Who's
हवा आने दे.
हवा आने दे. तो ठंड रख मेरे पास है.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Who is he most closest to? Dada or Dadi?
He's closer to I don't know. They just take their family for granted. I think they're not like I think girls are different, guys are different.
Actually, yeah, that's right.
The girls are very, very specific about who they're close to. Dadi, and they actually come and spend time. He's like doing his own thing. He's playing or doing board games, or he's doing homework, or he's going for football, or he's talking about footballers and cricketers to me. he's least bothered कि आज दादा से मिला कि दादी से मिला. Even when I'm not there, has he met Papa or not? He doesn't. He messaged me. He sent me a voice note before sleeping, and I'm sure that's also been told to him by my nanny. He sent a good night message or whatever. So I think the love is there. It's inside.
Yeah.
But they're growing fast.
I think and I think boys it's like that. Boys they become more independent faster.
Yes.
You know, so I
So
think
I really don't know what the hierarchy is. There were like times when you used to say I like Chotu Bhaiya the most. Nobody after that.
Dude, mine is mummy ko bhul gayi hai. She's saying Mimi as the nanny. It becomes dangerous, man. It doesn't become like. Don't you feel insecure sometimes?
No. This is something that we have to understand. That this is just their mood, and this is just they know exactly who the primary caregiver is, who is the parent in charge, and they know exactly everything. It's just that it's understood for them. So at that point in time, who's spending more time with them, or who's playing the game with them, or who they see more often, or who they enjoy, who's being a bit more lenient. That becomes their preference. But deep down in their hearts and minds, from the day they are born, they know who the parent is. They know who's most important in their lives. So we have to be secure about that, and that's what makes them secure.
Man, seriously, they really know how to play with our emotions. I've seen that. In fact, I get scared to leave my child with the nanny so much because that insecurity is there. But honestly, we were speaking earlier also, chatting with you, and now just chatting with you again, barely like 20 minutes to the conversation. You seem to be very sorted. Like you know some things and you let it be. You don't let it bother you.
Yeah, because I read a lot maybe about parenting. As far as you're asking me about parenting, right?
Yes,
so I read a lot about
absolutely.
parenting. I've been tracking baby centers as a site. I've been reading from the time he was born. And a lot of what I learned is the fact that gentle parenting is what will set us apart from the kind of parenting we got from our parents. So I try my best to
लताड़े तुझे भी बड़ी
पढ़ी है लेकिन मैंने कभी इनको हाथ नहीं उठाया इनके ऊपर हाथ नहीं उठाया. I used to shout at it, but I've stopped that also. I think what is more effective is conversation, explaining to them, reasoning with them. And I think through these articles I've realized how important it is to really not lose your cool with kids, because they will grow up well if you talk to them, but they don't need to be scolded, they don't need to be shouted. And the other thing I've learned is that after a point you have to let it go and you have to let them figure it out for themselves. So I think that is probably somewhere I think that I feel lucky enough to have realized that part of parenting and that mantra that I have taken in right now in the current stages of his life is the fact that I need to give him that independence to fall down, to get a bit bullied, to be able to have friends who are not as easy to deal with in comparison to those who are his close friends, and still find your way around school.
So you're not an overprotective dad.
No, I don't like being there because I think that will just make them softer and make them unprepared for the world that is waiting for them.
Interesting.
I think they have to be living in this world, not in our houses. So they have to be aware of and be used to the kind of world that we're living in. And it's quite unbreakable.
I've always considered you to be a step ahead of our time when it comes to parenting. Okay, primarily because the bold and the intelligent step that you took of surrogacy. Okay, bro. No, we come from a very, we as in India comes from a very, हमारे वैल्यूज हमारे कल्चर हम वेस्टर्न से प्रभावित नहीं होते. ये जब लड़का लड़की आएंगे बच्चा देंगे तब ये सब होगा ना. Bro, the gods did it. The gods did it.
Yes, of course. Krishna Bhagwan, I mean.
All ये पांडव कहाँ से आए? It was surrogacy in that sense.
Yes.
वो सूर्य का भगवान, वो इसका बेटा, but
living with adoptive parents.
Exactly. How did you just even think of it? Women, most of the time, because they do it because they want to, if at all they think. In a man, it's the first time that we have ever heard that you took a step. And I'm telling you, I was your pro. The day I read it, I think I sent you a message also that day.
Probably, yes.
The day I said, I'm so happy, so proud that what you've done is freaking, you've given a new lease, a new thought to men. do you have a
Actually, I've written a book about this
I
whole
was coming to that.
experience called Bachelor Dad, and it's published by Penguin.
Yeah.
And the book really entails the entire journey. How I was going to pray for a film, Tirupati, and I came out of Tirupati, and then I met one of my colleagues from the film industry, he's the director, Prakash Shah, and how we carpooled to the airport because of certain circumstances related to flight cancellations and etc. etc. And in that journey, he spoke to me about how he has adopted a child as a single parent, and he said that is an option in this country, and you can have your own child also being a single parent. If you don't want to go for adoption, you may speak to a family which has taken that route. A single woman in South Mumbai who is bringing up a child who's now 2 years older than Laksh also, and single-handedly through surrogacy and IVF through this procedure. And I spoke to her from the car then, and they said they'll come back to Mumbai. We'll tell you what it entails. And then it just fell into place. Of course, I had to do a lot of homework within myself and my mind to be clear that I wanted to get into this, take that plunge, and I wanted to get into this world of single parenting. But eventually I did, and I'm glad I did because a lot of it is in our minds and heads because of the conditioning that we grow up in and the culture and society that we grow up in. That certain things have to be a certain way, and marriage is the be all and end all.
Exactly.
At least if you want to have kids.
Yeah.
So there were norms that had to be broken if I wanted to become a parent. So I had to take that plunge. I had to jump into the deep end of the ocean, and now I don't feel it's unconventional. It feels like I'm leading a life like any normal parent.
You're not only leading a life, you led, as in you were leading this system that I would say that has broken, that you broke the norm. I'll share something with you that my sister-in-law, Teejay's sister, she became a mom. Not married, no boyfriend, nothing. She said, how long will I wait? Kya pata when will the right guy come? And I said, you're right, actually. And we always think, who knows? We don't know in today's day and age. It's gone are those times when our parents, माँ बाप ने बोले शादी कर लो, being done, and it's, you निभाओ the rest of the time. Nowadays, in this time and age, we don't know. She took, went to a sperm donation bank, and she got everything, and she got pregnant, she pregnant herself through a program, whatever system, whatever it is, and she's a proud mother of a baby girl.
Awesome.
She's taking care of the baby, and it's amazing. And all of us, like Teejay, not.
And it was legal when I was doing it. It was as per the law.
Yeah.
There is a huge book called The Laws of Surrogacy. So my Dr. Parekh, Dr. Tushar Kapoor, who is also part of my book, who I mentioned in the book also, she guided me through the steps, and it's all as per the law. So I was like, fine, this sounds great. But of course, it was anxiety provoking at every stage, and then announcing the baby into the world, of course.
That must have been like a more than the step you took is announcing to the world.
It was exciting but anxiety provoking, of course. I didn't know what the reactions would be, but they were all positive. So I just believe that India, deep down, we're very liberal.
Yeah.
We're very open-minded. We're very accepting of all kinds of culture. We're accepting of all kinds of family settings. It's just that we, on the surface, are very politically correct.
Mm-hmm.
We have these boundaries and these rules that we live by. But deep down, we are a very, very open-minded race. And I think where that over-conservativeness has come in, I don't know. But it's glad that, this experience of mine taught me that India is where, I could do something so radically different. Just shows that we're a culture that is so liberal and so warm and so positive when it comes to bringing a child into this world and creating a family. At the end of the day, it's a family, whether it's a single parent family or not. So everybody was so accepting of it. Of course, they were shocked. There was a lot of surprise and a lot of shock.
But I'm sure positivity.
But beyond that shock, there was all positive.
Absolutely. Yeah. And as you
from all quarters, the senior generation, maybe like around 100 people, one person probably, one or two people would be like, don't agree with
the point of view.
How will he do it on his own? And what's the point of having a child if you're going to have nannies to look after the child? But how are you predicting how I'm going to raise my child?
So that's another thing that we.
And how do I know you are not doing that? Even though you're married, maybe you're just still depending on nannies,
Yeah. So during our time, our nannies were our grandparents or chacha chachi or that kind of thing. I mean, they were part of the family only. If you make somebody part of your family, then I think it's fine. It's like, again, this also that everybody's got a way to say, ऐसे नहीं पालना चाहिए बच्चे को.
So that I think those opinions would have been there when we get married. There were certain opinions. ऐसे करना चाहिए था शादी. इस महीने में करना चाहिए था, उस महीने में नहीं करना चाहिए था, इसके साथ नहीं करना चाहिए था, उसके साथ नहीं करना चाहिए था. That so I think there's always going to be some cynic or some opinion that probably is going to be unhappy with whatever you do. So you have to ignore it. But the 99.9% that was really positive, was very reassuring, and my doctor said to me, 2 days there'll be a lot of news, there'll be a lot of brouhaha, and after that we'll come back to the own problems. We have the problems in their own, they are not worrying about what you're doing with your life. Yeah.
How is Lakshya's relation with Ravi? Ekta's, how are they like? How do they bond?
Lakshya is very protective of Ravi, and whenever I think he sees him as somebody he has to look after, and whenever there's a new toy or we're giving away toys, we can give it to Ravi. I said, no, Ravi has a lot of toys of his own. He's got like a whole room full of toys. We can donate these toys, because the first name that comes to the mind is we can give this to Ravi.
Yeah, actually, वो बड़े को छोटे से वैसा हमेशा ऐसा ही हुआ.
Yes.
Did you also?
Initially, he was quite like, no, don't give it Ravi, because he was losing attention from the family members. When Ravi was just born and Lakshman was around 4, he was 3.5. So that's the age he was feeling like, okay, I'm not the only child. So he was getting a bit insecure initially, but now he's grown out of that.
So when I was small, when sister के उतरे हुए कपड़े would come to me. Did you also have the same thing?
I was the younger boy and girl, so we couldn't.
No, t-shirts and all. So then when we grew up, I used to have t-shirts. Then she used to take my t-shirts. Ekta used to take your t-shirts. No.
Clothes are totally different from mine. So we couldn't share any of the clothes. But yeah, it's like recycling was part of our culture even then. In our upbringing, we all learned that we have to share and use things till we tear them, we don't throw them.
You know, this also again, I want to ask you, is that recycling, bro? That बहुत rare is that people recycle. मतलब करते हैं, but they don't keep recycling. I think because we always want to buy something new for a child, like a new toy something. Because what is the whole deal about this whole new toy? That because the child doesn't understand.
So it's all, everybody has their own ways of dealing with it. Some parents they believe that bhar ke toys kharido, they'll be happy. My mantra is that I'm still using the toys on the second birthday. Like we open toys only very periodically, so that he doesn't get bored of the toys.
Yeah, because children are going to get bored. But they'll see this, they won't even remember their favorite toy that they had today.
Absolutely. So
you hide it, they'll
learn to play with whatever's there. Find creative ways of playing in different ways with the same toy. Or what you get as a gift, you can use that. You don't have to go and buy a toy. So there are different ways of.
I've seen you have very certain set beautiful rules about parenting. Huh?
Yeah, I believe in less is more. I believe that
it's amazing, Tushar.
Use your mind. I don't have to indulge you for you to have fun. I think the lockdown was a great lesson. We were making the most of whatever we had, and we were using things that were live and used.
Tushar, with God's grace, you're blessed with a lot of kindness, like God has been very kind to you. So you come from a background where there is everything to your disposal. Now Lakshya has become big. And the way you are talking to me is very different from like what people would see. Yeah, he comes from such a affluent family. इसके तो बच्चे एकदम बिगड़े हुए होंगे.
Yeah, people stereotype me a lot because of the family I come from, and especially because I'm from a Bollywood family. Everyone thinks that they would be living a certain way and everything would be abundance and it's easy for them no matter what. But no, I mean it's just what you see on the outside. On the inside, who knows? I'm not saying we are.
No, but you come across very different. You come across a very different dad. You come across a different dad than mothers I've seen also.
Yeah, our mothers are.
No, our generation mothers I've seen. So right now, Teejay is not here. Teejay is with Bella in Canada. She's with my sister-in-law.
Yeah.
So I'm with Vienna and Gia. So I'm like the mother and father right now. Like how you're the mother and father right now. So I'm on all the mother groups. In school ke mother groups, in the classes mother groups. And I see how moms are. Oh my God, man! Moms can get very anal about their children.
Absolutely. And the birthday, they have to have everything they want. Kids have to have everything they want. and open everything in one day.
In one day, huh?
Yes. And I don't know, it's just it's about भूख लगी होगी ना कुछ order कर लेते हैं. I said, he's playing, he's not hungry.
What do you do about food? What do you do about food?
When he's hungry, we give him.
No, I said like, are you like how? मेरे बच्चे खाना नहीं खाते. Do you have the same problem?
He doesn't eat as much, but I do allow him some screen time while he's eating his dinner or his lunch.
But again, that is also very limited.
But he eats his meal. He used to be a fussy eater, and he's still a bit fussy, but now he is experimenting with different kinds of food. So he's understanding what I'm trying to say, that you have to have different kinds of food. And so he catches up on all his nutrients for sure. But I don't have to toss kids. You have to have a meal. But कहीं भी जाओ मतलब even if they're not hungry, let's order something. इतने फ्रेंच फ्राइज मंगाए उसने इतना खा लिया वो खा के वेस्ट हो गया. But the mom is happy, the dad or mom is happy. अरे यार, no. He must have been little hungry. They've not eaten since whatever. I said, but he'll tell you why he's hungry. Why are you ordering and wasting? Give it to somebody else.
Seriously, man, this is.
Yeah. So I'm practical in that sense, and I'm not stingy. I don't want to say I'm stingy. I do at times. He wants to go for a holiday, I will take him for a holiday. But it shouldn't be something that I'm doing and I'm not getting used or consumed by him. He's not learning anything. He's not gaining anything. He's not enjoying also. It's just because I have to buy him something, I'm buying him. That's not the case. I want them to really value whatever they're doing or value what they get so that they're happy with what I gave them. So that's, I think, optimal utilization of resources.
No, but really, I knew you were hands on that. But today, genuinely, today is something. I'm seeing a different side the way you bring in Vaksha. It's amazing. It's this. So I think moms have so much to learn from you. Forget the dads.
My parents tell me you're like do char mom, do char dads mix
together. No, seriously, because I always feel that dads, they don't get the due respect in the parenting world.
Yeah, but dads, I think because we in our culture we tend to take it for granted that the mom will do certain things, we'll do certain things. But I feel the dads, we have a lot of acumen as far as parenting is concerned. We underestimate ourselves and leave it to the moms. And they're not doing the best job. And all of them are not doing the best.
Absolutely. I know so many mothers who have to get But again, it's a very material thing that a child will go to the mother. I've seen it, But you really, I think your mom was right. Shobhan, you're so correct. You're like 5-6 mothers in one. And 5-6 good mothers in one.
I hope I'm not speaking too soon. Long way to go learning every day. Yeah. I'm learning every day. I make my mistakes. And but I like to believe that I'm thriving in this role as a dad. And now
I think you'll be
I have the opportunity to get back to my own career and my own life also.
I know, now it becomes easier. I think those first 4-5 months, and we were lucky that COVID hit, so there was no work. We could actually adjust it because right now it's very difficult for my little one is 3, and I have to be pretty much present.
Your line of work, you've done so much television. Yeah. It's very consuming.
I know.
It's very, very consuming. Like you're doing this show on your channel now, but that takes time. That takes effort.
But I really enjoy this one. This is fun. Yeah, this is fun. But yeah, when it comes to television, I used to take my children to my set.
Okay.
They would come with me out there, for 1-2 days. Because my set used to be in Umargaon, so I would get them on the weekends, and Teejay wasn't there, so it was, especially the little one. At the end of the day, everything gets sorted. This is my.
When there's a will and there's a way you can organize yourself.
हम लोग ने manage किया ना.
Yes, absolutely.
Somehow we managed. We grew up. We became good children. Whatever said and done, हम हमारे पैरों पे खड़े हैं और थोड़े समझदार.
Yes.
That's what I give credit. I think it happened. Life makes you relax.
And no matter how good we are as parents, you're praising me, thank you so much. No matter how much I do for my son, do the right things, he'll have his issues, he'll have his struggles, and he'll have to go through this life.
Yeah, and
so you have to accept
after
that.
10-12 years,
I can't be a helicopter around him all the time.
Because we'll wrap it up soon because you have to leave. I can understand the pain.
No, it's been fun.
It's really amazing. But your family, okay, they're very spiritual, very religious. How do you introduce this kind of aspect to your child? How do you force it, or is it just?
I was taking him to the temple when he was a baby. I go to the temple every Saturday. So I was taking with him. Obviously at that time, Godi mein le ja sakta tha. It was easy. But utha ke le jao. And now then he started resisting. He said, I don't want to go. Because obviously it's boring for him to go to the temple. But now the the grandparents instill that. Like my mom takes him, or my dad takes him. Bua is very religious, so Bua will take him for all the pujas in Balaji, all the
Nice.
the pujas that are there. So that part of aspect where religion comes into the picture, my family
Is
looks up.
Ekta a strict Bua or she is more lenient than you?
She's like a Santa Claus.
Oh my goodness.
She's completely like that. So I have to control her. I have controlled her a lot.
It's so cute, man.
No gifts,
That
please.
typical Bua, huh? That's a typical Bua.
Yeah. So now I don't buy him any gifts because whenever she goes abroad, she buys him something. So I say now उसमें आपके सारे gifts आ गए और उनमें से भी आधे gifts जो आते हैं मतलब जो already sealed and packed है, we use it as gifts for friends' birthdays.
She was the Bua's favorite. I mean, he was the Bua's favorite.
He doesn't say, but he's quite attached to her. He's quite.
Yeah, more than Dada, I think Bua must be his favorite.
Yeah, he's quite attached to her. He doesn't show it so much, but he's.
But boys are like that.
Boys are like that. He's like, my Bua gave me this, my Bua.
My boy gave that. Okay, you know what? Before wrapping up, we'll have a nice fun. This is like
Rapid fire.
Absolutely. Make your food.
Yeah.
Okay. So okay, come on. So that part, you know what? It was so enjoyable this conversation. I even forgot to introduce my show is called Daddy Adventures, by the way.
Lovely.
So the adventures of fatherhood. You know, that's how this whole.
It's gonna be a blockbuster.
Oh yeah, I hope so.
Online,
Seriously,
yeah.
I hope so.
Because I haven't seen a dad.
I
show like
just,
this.
that's what
I've seen mommy blogs
Yeah.
and mommy shows and mommy Insta, whatever platforms they've used, to create some kind of a property. But I haven't seen a dad do it yet.
No, because I feel it. Because I am so involved, so hands-on, so I feel it. And I really was thinking, कि क्या ऐसा किया जाए कि that people want to know कि how, because I have got something new from you. So I'm sure people would love to hear and see that this is how you're taking care of your child, man.
But if you want to know more about my experience, of course, Karanvir's show is the best place to start.
Daddy Adventures.
But Daddy Adventures. But if more than that also, then you can read my book, Bachelor Dad.
Bachelor Dad तो अभी जाके खरीदो, Amazon से download करो. When is part 2 coming? part 1 ही पहले सीख ले.
लॉकडाउन भी आ गया part 1 में. तो प्लान नहीं किया था. दो extra chapters मिल गए.
Okay, quick. We're running out of time. So rapid fire starts with Daddy Adventures right now. So if your child is crying for phone, would you give the phone or let him cry?
Crying for a phone?
Yeah, like he wants to watch the phone. He wants it.
I'll give it him for 5 minutes. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
They are 5 minutes ready.
Yes.
Nice. Okay, one superhero character for your child.
He used to like Captain America a lot, superhero. Now he's just likes footballers. So he's like Nazario Ronaldo, Messi, and he's hardcore into it. So he knows he watches 2002. Okay,
My kids talk about Mbappe, Messi, Ronaldo. They see the quizzes and all. Okay. If you could have an unlimited supply of one thing for your child, what would it be?
Unlimited supply
of one thing.
Free playtime.
Oh, nice.
Free playtime.
Actually, when the child is throwing a tantrum, buckle in or stand firm?
Stand firm.
Brilliant. Bribe. Yes or no?
No.
No.
I said you have to do something to earn your bribe.
To earn your bribe.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, fast food or home food?
Home food.
Yeah, that goes without saying.
But I love fast food once a week.
Once a week.
Yeah.
I like that. You're a balanced dad, man. When you were a child, who did you go to for advice? Mom, daddy, actor?
I used to go to mom quite often. Yeah.
If Lakshya wants advice, who does he go to?
He asks me, if I'm not home, he asks Didi, otherwise, yeah, he mostly asks, he'll message me or he'll send me a voice note.
Okay. Last question. Will you gift your child a dog or a cat? Or nothing?
I already gifted him a dog, puppy, 2 years back.
I hope my children don't see this.
Maltese.
Oh my god, my children are begging for a dog.
Please get them, yeah.
अरे यार ये बच्चों को संभालते या मैं डॉगी भी मुझे ही संभालना पड़ेगा please. Oh, amazing, man. Thank you.
They like babies too, the doggies also like babies. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Tushar. Seriously, this was amazing.
My pleasure. It was quite a kick-ass show, kick-ass conversation.
Talking to you, more than anything else, I think the audience would love to listen to how you take care of. It's different reading. It's different. We see some random interviews, like very typical, but this is something. I feel it's come from your heart. I feel it has come because when somebody is just chatting, somebody is just talking. We are not on our guard.
Yes.
And this is what I felt from you. That you know, the guy and you came across as such an involved man. Too good.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Good to see you. Big up to the
You all
young
came-
girls. I'm
Yes.
calling young girls now, not
Yeah.
ladies.
No,
And
he is
big up
young.
to Teejay. Yes.
We are all young.
Yes, we're also young. Yeah, we are young dads.
Yeah, young dad.
This generation doesn't age so fast.
But it was so good, man. It was nice.
And I'm looking forward to seeing the interview.
Oh yeah, my Imtiaz, जल्दी कर देना इसको. हाँ.
So the first egg or embryo or egg, what I don't know the right term. I think
Egg is good enough.
Yeah.
Yes.
So so the first egg was transferred, and the doctor said, "Listen, it's very, very rare, but you can see it connect to the wall of the uterus. Now, of course, things can happen. There could be a miscarriage. There could be anything. But I just want you to know." The doctor said, so there's a really good chance that she'll be pregnant. Which of course we'll know in a couple of weeks or a month or 6 weeks, whatever. So she's like, "You sure you want to send the second egg down, or whatever?" And I was like, "Oh man."
But that was your call.
Yeah, so I was like, I think I need to consult my wife on this. But it was like, I'm in LA and she's in Latur. And I was like,
And you had to make the decision there and then.
I had fucking 10 seconds. She's like, we'd have to know
Dude,
now. And
because
I go,
of you, there's a third child.
So then I go exactly like this to the doctor. I go, fuck it.
Do it.
That's exactly what I told her. Fuck it. Send him down. And then, 6 weeks later or something, doctor
Wasn't
called and
Sunny
they're like,
on what-
"You're having twins." And I was like, "Oh boy." I was like, "Uh-oh."
What was Sunny's reaction, man?
Listen, she loved it. She thought it was the best. My dad was like, at first he was like, "I'm not sure how to actually react to all this."
This is crazy.
then-